We're here back in the Fantasy Bar. Friday is always some baseball talk, and we've got 6 of my favorite plays for you on FanDuel and DraftKings, including a stack I think could be off the radar for you tonight. We'll get that started. We'll knock out your catcher spot as part of that stack. Couple big bats I want to get in my lineup here tonight. A starting pitcher that looks way too cheap and a great strikeout matchup. And of course, my favorite play on the entire slate. Who are we talking about? Only one way to find out. It's time to belly up to the Fantasy Bar. Welcome in, guys. Friday edition, Beers Daily Fantasy Six-Pack, talking some baseball. Good to be back in the Fantasy Bar. Thank you, as always, for stopping by and checking out today's video. Before we get to the plays, take a second, click that thumbs up button. Tells me you enjoy your time here in the Fantasy Bar. Really helps us out over there on YouTube. So thank you very much for that. Much appreciated. Subscribe to the channel as well. Pints and Picks back tonight. Sweet for us on Tuesday. We'll look to stay hot here with 2 prop bets I really like for Friday night. Make sure you're checking that out over on our Scores and Odds YouTube page. All right, let's get rolling here with our 6 plays for Friday night. Let's start with a big bat I want to get in my lineups tonight, and that is Yordan Alvarez of the Astros. Alvarez swinging a great bat right now. 3 multi-hit games over the last 5, 3 home runs over that stretch, and we know this guy hits righties extremely well. Doing it again this season. Woba over 360, that ISO sitting at 230. What I really like here, the matchup with Griffin Canning. Canning, a very low strikeout pitcher, and has always struggled with left-handed hitters. We're seeing that once again this season. That Woba at almost 400 to lefties and giving up a bunch of power as well at 266 in the ISO department. Add that to the power mix we're always looking for. That combination of fly ball rate, hard contact rate, sitting up in the 80s here between the two, especially that hard contact rate at 52%. Great spot here for Yordan Alvarez. Definitely a guy I want to spend up here on Friday night. All right, next pick, we are going with Schneider of Toronto. Now you get some nice positional flexibility here with Schneider, outfield or second base eligible on both sites, and kind of been a tough stretch here recently. In this game, not one that's going to stand out to a lot of people. Playing in Oakland, kind of a low total here, so should keep him under the radar, but it's a spot I like for Schneider. Leads this team with a 250 ISO against lefties, and if Harris happens to get pulled, one of those starting relievers, he's good against righties as well. So one of those spots, he's not just a guy that's good against left-handed pitching. He can get it done against righties here. Now, focusing on Harris, loves to throw that fastball, and Schneider has been incredible against that pitch, and these numbers date back to the start of last season. We're talking a Woba over 450, and look at that ISO, way up at 519 against four-seam fastballs from lefties. So great shot for a home run here for Schneider. I think he wakes up at very low ownership here on Friday night. All right, let's stay there with Toronto. I think it's a sneaky stack tonight, and let's add on the catcher, Jansen. Now, another Toronto bat like Schneider, been kind of quiet at the plate, so you can utilize him as a stack, or even if you don't want to stack the Blue Jays, a solid one-off play at that catcher spot with some upside, as this guy has shown big-time power against left-handed pitching. 257 the ISO, and that's since the start of last season, and another guy that can get it done against righties. So we worry about these short-term starters, lefty or righty. Jansen puts up solid power numbers here. Now, overall, Harris struggling with right-handed hitters. 349 Woba, 222 the ISO, and giving up a lot of hard contact at 48%. The Blue Jays been frustrating here this season, but I like the spot for him here tonight against the Oakland A's. All right, my favorite starting pitcher for Friday night, we're rolling with Garrett Crochet of Chicago. Now, the White Sox been an absolute disaster. This guy's been about the only bright spot for them here this season, and that price on DraftKings really stands out. You see that FanDuel price at 10.9. That may prohibit people from spending up. So it's the old too cheap on DraftKings, and you can spend up to be contrarian over on FanDuel. But I absolutely love this spot against the Red Sox. I know they scored 1,000 runs yesterday, so you hesitate a little bit, but they are absolutely leading the way in strikeouts against left-handed pitching this season, way up at 28.3%. We had this same matchup on Tuesday with Max Fried and saw him rack up 13 strikeouts against his team. And Crochet been in great form, 23 or more DraftKings points now in 6 straight starts, and we know the upside's there to get into the 30s. Has a 36 on the resume here as well. I think he can limit this team, rack up the strikeouts. Garrett Crochet, my favorite pitcher tonight, and simply too cheap over on DraftKings. All right, back to the bats with my favorite value tonight. We're talking Mason Winn of the Cardinals. So FanDuel appropriately priced. DraftKings probably a little bit too cheap here. So somebody that we can use to save some money that we can spend up elsewhere, and has really shown some solid power at the top of that lineup against left-handed pitching. ISO way up at 234 against lefties. Now, Gomber been much better against righties than he was last season, but that's on the surface. You look at the batting average on balls in play, just 245 on the season, giving up a ton of hard contact as well at 42.7% to righties. So the Cardinals, another team, been frustrating here. Not going to stack them tonight, but Mason Winn provides us some great value here for Friday night. All right, it's time. Take a look at my favorite play for Friday night. Before we do that, let's continue our Beast of the Night contest. All you got to do, click that thumbs up button, head to the comment section, and guess fantasy points on DraftKings tonight for my highest scoring hitter. Whoever's guess is the closest, we're going to send you some free RotoGrinder swag just for hanging out tonight in the fantasy bar. All right, let's wrap it up with my favorite play for Friday night. You know, Matt, Beast of the Night. All right, Beast time. One spot really stood out to me amongst all of the spots and the games, and that is Spencer Steer of the Reds, tonight's Beast of the Night. So Steer comes in tonight swinging a great bat, 4 multi-hit games for him over the last 6 games, and has really hit lefties well. 370 WOBA, leading a Cincinnati team with a 246 ISO. But what really stands out here is his ability against a four-seam fastball. Justin Steele utilizes that pitch 62% of the time to right-handed hitters over the last year. Steer putting up big-time numbers against that pitch. WOBA over 400, ISO at 350. Add the fact Justin Steele has really been struggling here over the last couple starts. Great spot here for Spencer Steer. Easily my favorite play on the board and tonight's Beast of the Night. All right, guys, that'll do it for our Friday night 6-pack. As always, any comments, questions, or feedback, hit me up in that comment section right below the video. Don't forget your guess for the highest scoring hitter over on DraftKings as well for a shot to win some free RotoGrinders Premium and Jansen picks back tonight. 2 MLB prop bets I really like. 1 at plus odds I don't think should be at plus odds, but make sure you're checking that out over on our Scores and Odds YouTube page. For RotoGrinders.com, I am Beer saying salut, guys. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out in the fantasy bar. Best of luck on the slate tonight. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for checking out our videos. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more DraftKings, FanDuel, and other DFS content. And you can check out our daily live show schedule on RotoGrinders.com/videos.